sis, we're going to read it again. Read what you got. Titus chapter 2 and verse 2. Because now that you know you're an Israelite, you have a requirement. Right. So we're going to show you too as well, brother. We're going to show you what's required of you. So read what you got.
The book of Titus, chapter 2. Can you put it up a little bit? Chapter 2, verse 2. That the aged men be sober, grave, temperate, sound in faith, in charity, in patience. The aged woman likewise.
So that was all the things that a man is supposed to be. He's supposed to be grave, meaning serious, temperate, meaning have patience, because it repeated itself. It said patience. These are the attributes you're supposed to have as an Israelite man. Right. Now we're going to get to the woman, because it's very important, sister. Right. You know who you are. You already light years ahead of a lot of our people, because they don't know who they are today. Right. So read what you got. Titus chapter 2, verse 3.
Titus chapter 2, verse 3. The aged woman likewise, that they be in behavior as becometh holiness.
So it says the aged women be in behavior as it becometh holiness. What is holiness? Do you know?
I still can't say the word. It's starting to
V. Virtuous. Okay, that's very, hey, you on point. All praises. So let's read it right out of the Bible, because we're going to let God speak, okay? Read what you got.
Romans chapter 7, verse 12. Wherefore, the law is holy.
The law of God is holy. Read on.
And the commandment holy.
The commandment's holy.
And just and good.
So let's go back to Titus chapter 2 and verse 3. Let's read that again.
The aged woman likewise, that they be in behavior as becometh holiness, not false accusers, not given to much wine.
So he said three quick things right there. He said you must, in order to be holy, you have to keep God's commandments. Right. He said also that they're not false accusers, meaning women can't be liars. Right. Neither can the Israelite men. Our people love to lie. Right. Our people love to hear lies. Right. That's against God. You understand that? Read on.
Not given to much wine.
Not given too much wine, meaning a drunkard. Because what do our sisters do when they go to the club? They get drunk. Exactly. You drink in moderation, meaning you don't get drunk. So you understand that, sister. Read on.
To love their husbands.
So they're supposed to love their husbands. How many sisters do you know that even have husbands? Most of them got what? Boyfriend and girlfriends. We're going to touch on that too. That's against God. Stay where you at. Read on.
That they may teach the young women to be sober.
So you're young women. This is things that you need to be learning. So you can teach younger women that come in to this knowledge after you. To be sober, to be temperate, to apply God's commandments. So now I'm going to give you a law. Let's go straight to it. Deuteronomy chapter 22, verse 5. Because you a princess, sister. Believe that. Yes, sir. I got you. Yes, sir. And bro, we coming right back to you. But I want to share this with my sister real quick. This is very important. Because the reason, like Officer was bringing out earlier, we in the condition we in is because of sin. That's the only reason. It's not because we are weaker people. It's not because we're not a smarter people. It's because we broke our God's commandments. And we finna read to you a commandment. Because you love God, right, sister? Exactly. So let's read what we got.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 22, verse 5. The woman shall not wear that which pertaineth unto a man.
So it says the woman shall not wear that which pertaineth to a man. Read on.
Neither shall a man put on a woman's garment.
So neither shall a man put on a woman's garment. So I'm going to ask you, what is a woman's garment, bro, that men wear today? What's a woman's garment that men put on?
Bring it out.
Think about it. What would be weird? You would say he's wearing women's clothing. Huh? Okay, you say a kilt. That's something similar, but it's a dress. Because don't you see these rappers and entertainers and actors? A lot of these men are putting on dresses, rompers, things of that nature, things that apply to a woman. So now, what is a woman wearing that applies to a man? What is it? Jeans, pants. Exactly, sister. You know why? Because you're a princess. Think about it. A princess, they wouldn't wear pants or jeans. And then show you that this even in the spirit of our sisters, because when you think about stuff that is considered royalty but really not, like prom and weddings and things like that, what do our sisters wear?
Bring it out.
It's no jeans allowed. As a matter of fact, at certain clubs, grown-up clubs, they say when you have to dress a certain way casually, women have to wear what? Exactly. But that's what God is commanding you wear. He's commending because you're special. That's how special you are. He doesn't want you wearing what everybody else wears. Don't follow after the fashions of this world. So we're letting you know that, yes, sir. We're letting you know that in those jeans, even though you say you love God, and I know you do, even though you say you love God, the way you're going to show them is what? When you take those pants off and you put on a modest dress or a modest skirt. Because even though you might put on a dress or a skirt, don't think that if you wear a tight one, you still are keeping God's commandments, because you're not. You're fooling yourself. So now, let's go back to Timothy, because I want to hit something. And we're going to touch that boyfriend and girlfriend as well.
I'm going to ask you a question, because we got a man and a woman here, so you can understand how we think, and you understand women think. When you see a woman in a nice pair of jeans, what is the first thing you look at a lot of the times? It might not even be you, because your name Gray, right? Might not even be you, but what do the majority of men look at the first time when they see somebody, a sister, in some nice jeans or leggings?
I try to simplify it and explain to everyone what happens. Our eyes wander.
Right. Where do they wander to? Where do they wander to? Let's be plain. The body parts, right? We look at one thing, and then the next thought behind that is what? And what's the next thought for us?
It's up to you. It depends on the day.
Well, majority of men.
And if you have your shield up.
Yeah, but we talking about the majority of our people. The first thought is gonna be sex.
Right.
Now I'm speaking with a majority. Now with you, sister. Now I know one thing, that you don't want man to look at you like, cause what you want is a man to respect you for who you are, not what you got, right? Well, on the flip side of that, well then we can't expect that from man if we don't act according. You understand that? And that's why that's why God gave us a dress code, our sisters a dress code, because he know how we think. That we just naturally attracted to you. He made a woman for a man and a man for a woman. That's how God make it. And the way that your body is shaped, it attracts us. And the way that a man is shaped, it attracts your eyes. But when you go outside of what God has given you a way to dress, it attracts the wrong man. And it's been far too long that we don't want our sisters to end up with niggas out here that ain't really looking to treat you like a daughter of God. Right. And we don't want brothers to be in the position where they caught up with a woman that their eyes led them to, but they had no intention of ever staying with them. And now, between a man and a woman, you done brought a child into this life. And now you two are bound together for the rest of your life. You don't like him, you don't like her, but y'all can't not deal with each other because y'all both got a kid to deal with. So God got solutions before you even get to that point, which is what? Where we at? No, go back to 1 Timothy. 1 Timothy 2 and 9. Read that.
The book of 1 Timothy, chapter 2, verse 9. In like manner also, that women adorn themselves in modest apparel.
So God is telling the Israelite woman, cover yourself in modest apparel. Modest means not to draw sexual attention to yourself out here, because if you dress sexy, guess what's coming to find you? A man that wants sex. Right. And you know, sister, we will play the role until we get what we want. Right. And then you'll tell us, oh, I'm pregnant. Oh shit, hey. And then you end up with a baby daddy. You don't want that. So when we go to what God says, read that again.
In like manner also, that women adorn themselves in modest apparel.
And this goes for you if you ever have kids. If you have a daughter, you would have to teach her how to dress modestly from a young age up, because you won't want predators out here that don't think like you do. That ain't got their shield up. That ain't walking in the spirit. The first thought that they gonna have is, when your daughter get of age and she becomes a beautiful woman, I want her. And I'm gonna get her. And I'm gonna say whatever I have to. So you got to learn this so you can apply it in your life if you ever have kids, so your daughter don't end up as a statistic. Right. You got to apply this thing so you don't end up going from man to man to man. You looking for the right one. I can't never find a good man. All men are dogs. Well, when you dress a certain way, you're going to attract certain type of man. Right. God got a foolproof plan for it. All we got to do is humble down and apply it. That's it. That's how we teach it. We ain't telling people to jump off the damn Grand Canyon to be saved. We ain't telling you to strap a bomb to yourself. God don't require that. God says just put your own thoughts to the side and just have my thoughts in your mind. You'll be okay. You won't have black on black crime. You won't have crime in Pine Hills like you be having down here. Every time you turn on the news, somebody got shot at 3 o'clock in the morning in Pine Hills. Because we ain't applying what's being written right here. Read on in that.
With shamefacedness and sobriety, not with braided hair or gold or pearls or costly array.
Now, a lot of times when people read this, they be like, well, dang, I got to dress like a Jehovah's Witness. I can't have on no earrings. I got to wear a dress that drags on the ground all the time, although the dress got to be modest. But I got to drag on the ground. I can't do nothing with myself to look pretty. God ain't talking about that. What God is telling the women to do, don't let it just be this. Because I don't know your life. I don't know what kind of friends you got. But I'm pretty sure you've met a girl or two in your life that where she was just this is all she was. She didn't have nothing going on in her head. She was an airhead, let dudes run over, talk to her crazy, didn't have no kind of sense because she was all about the physical. Right. God's telling you don't let it be all about that. It's about your spirit. Because the way you shaped and what you can do in the bedroom will only keep a man for a certain amount of time. But what kind of spirit you got, what kind of mind you got will make a man marry you. Right. That's right. He will make a man like, I can't let her go. She's special. She know who she is. She's doing what the Bible says. She's honoring me as I'm supposed to. So guess what? I'm going to honor her as I'm. Give me that in Ephesians chapter 5. Bring it out. Because, hey, get the sister water. You need a water? No, I have water. Oh, okay. Because a lot of times, what happens with us in our community, we was raised in single parent households. Right. And men don't know how to be men. Right. Women don't know how to be women. Right. So what we do is we learn from movies and rap music along the way until we destroy ourselves and destroy the communities we in. I can ask most of the dudes over here that, did you grow up with your father? They'll say no. Right. But this is a solution for it. You got a question, Gray? Yeah.
I got the solution for everything.
What's that?
That changed the whole world.
What is it?
All right. If you understood what the Bible said, he said we have power in our tongues.
We have power in our tongue.
So these people who writing this rap music and writing about drugs and violence and all these things, they're teaching people. They're teaching younger people.
Yeah, they are.
And the media they're allowing this to come out on the radio and stuff.
Right. So what's the solution for it?
The solution is we change that. We gotta write better music, change all of that.
Romans 12:2. Go to that. Go ahead. I'm listening.
Okay. Also, we have to be careful with every word that we say. We have to take it serious.
Right. But here's the thing is. Here's the thing though. If you don't replace if you don't give a solution for what needs to be replaced, we won't know where to go. The Bible says without a vision, the people perish. So you can say, don't do that no more. To somebody that grew up that way, they're going to be like, well, what am I supposed to say? And that's where you have to come in and give them the solution for that. And where's that at? Right there in the Bible. That's right. Right there. Read that.
Romans chapter 12, verse 2. And be not conformed to this world.
God says, be not conformed to the things you see in this world. Read.
But be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind.
The renewing of your mind. It starts right here. The same thing with you, sister, and all our women out there. Where it starts at is in the mind. You know why you hot, sister? You ain't got, it's hot. You ain't got no air flowing through you right now. You got no pants and stopping up all the air. Bring it out. That's why it's hot out here for you. But that's what Romans 12:2. Because when you got on a dress, don't the air flow? Oh, I know it would. It'd be less hot though.
Romans chapter 12, verse 2. And be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind.
We got to renew our mind. And the only thing that's going to renew our mind is the words of God. Right. Because everything that we have learned here, where's the devil at? This is right here. It filters through this. Right here. It filters through this right here. This is why our women perm their hair. Right. God didn't make our hair stringy. He made our hair woolly like his. Right. But when you envy your oppressor and you see the world through his eyes, you'll do the things that he allowed you to do. And that's why we got women with green contacts, blue hair, red hair, green hair, permed hair, blonde hair. Is your hair natural that color? It's naturally blonde? Well, it looks brown and black underneath that.
So why would you ask for that?
Okay then, so so you know then, those are things that we got to renew ourselves in our own mind, no matter the fashion of the world. Because the fashion of the world tell us to dye our hair blonde, perm it out, whatever we got to do to look good. But God says, be not conformed to this world. Read on.
But be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind.
Here's a question. What renews our mind, Gray? What renews our mind, sister? The commandments or the Bible, right? Psalms 111 and 10. You're exactly right. But we got to apply them. Because one thing that we do as a people, we know, but we don't do. And God's about action. If we won't change, it's going to take action. Right. But a lot of times we don't want to put in the effort. Because it might be a hard road, but guess what? It's easier when you got numbers with you. When you got people exhorting you to do better. It's easier. Read that.
Psalms 111 and 10. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. A good understanding have all they that do his commandments.
Good understanding have all they that do his commandments. Those that want to renew their mind will do his commandments. And it'll change your life. Proverbs 7 and 2.
Slow to speak and quick to listen.
Say it again.
Slow to speak and quick to listen.
Yeah, exactly right. You're exactly right. Read that. Proverbs 7 and 2. That's why every time I say something, guess where I'm going back to? The Bible. Because I don't want y'all to leave it like, he was saying that. He was saying that. No, it's what God says. Read that.
Proverbs chapter 7 verse 2. Keep my commandments and live.
Do what?
Keep my commandments and live.
That's what's going to bring life back to us. Because right now, if you don't keep the commandments of God, and he says that's what gives you life, what are we physically right now? What are we spiritually? Proverbs 21:16. What are we? If we don't keep God's commandments, which give us life, then what is God telling us? We are what? What's that show that come on AMC that been like 8 seasons, the zombies? What's that show? Walking Dead. That's exactly what we are. Right. We the walking dead. Walking from day to day and got no purpose in our life. Whatever, we just living for the weekend. Go to work, relieve our stress, go to the club, have some drinks, shake our tail feather, and then start all over again on Monday. Repeating the same thing over and over again, and throughout history, look at it. Look where it's got us. We still in captivity, and yet this day, you just got a little bit more freedom than you did when they had you in shackles.
Just tell you how to break it, all right? That's why people tell you guys.
What's that?
Tell everyone to be careful with what they say to each other.
Well.
Every word they say count. You have to change.
No, okay, that's fine, sis. Just check us out. We here in Orlando, all right? All right, sis. Right.
You know, you spread blasphemy on everyone.
1 Samuel 2 and 3.
Blasphemy is what can cause death, murder, and all these things.
Right.
It causes violence and lies as well.
Okay. Now, because you talk about speaking, let me show you this. Read that.
1 Samuel chapter 2 verse 3. Talk no more, exceedingly proud.
God is the same. He's on the same page you are. All that talk that we do as a people, he says, stop doing all that. Your own words, stop doing all of that. Read.
Talk no more, exceeding proudly. Let not arrogancy come out of your mouth. For the Lord is a God of knowledge, and by him actions are weighed.
God's saying, okay, you got those words, but he wants actions behind it. A lot of times we keep saying talks, just tell. No, God want to see your actions behind what you're saying. Just like what you see here. We believe in what we teach, that we the Israelites according to the Bible. So guess what? Our actions have showed what we believe.
Special delivery, okay?
All right?
Special delivery. Apply it to yourself within the next 15 seconds.
I'm lost, Gray. I don't understand what that means. That was too deep of a parable for me. That was too deep. Read that again.
Talk no more, exceedingly proud. Let not arrogancy come out of your mouth. For the Lord is a God of knowledge, and by him actions are weighed.
You can't believe on him how you want to.
Right.
That's how we have been divided and conquered as a people, because we got our own beliefs of God, but it ain't according to the Bible. God said it's one belief. It is one thought you should have, and you should be gathering together as one people.
Right.
You are not Haitian. You ain't African American. You ain't Dominican. You ain't Puerto Rican. You are the Israelites according to the Bible.
That's right.
That's who you are, and that's who you be. God ain't never called you Haitian. He ain't never called you African American Negro. He ain't never called you that. God calls you the Israelites according to the Bible. And we suffer because we are not on one accord according to God.
Hey, all praises. What Cat was bringing out was heavy. So let's get Isaiah chapter 1 verse 3. Because our people need to know who they are. But let's see what the Bible says about that. Let's see what God says a black man with woolly hair, just like you brothers, says about that. Read what you got.
Isaiah chapter 1 verse 3. The ox knoweth his owner, and the ass his master's crib. But Israel do not know.
So God says the ox, a dumb animal, knows who his owner is, knows who's home. The ass, his master's crib, the same thing. Beast of burden, they know who they belong to. But Israel, read,
do not know.
But the Israelites, you so-called black, Hispanic, and Native Indians who call yourselves Jamaican, who call yourselves Haitian, who call yourselves Puerto Rican, Venezuelan, African American, do not know who you are today. But that's why the prophets of God are out here to teach you who you are. So read that again.
The ox knoweth his owner, and the ass his master's crib. But Israel do not know. My people do not consider.
God says that us as a people, black, Hispanic, and Native Indians, we don't even consider what our nationality is. We don't even care about that as a people. You know what that is? That is a destroyed people. That's a destroyed mind state. Give me Hosea chapter 4 verse 6. This is what happened to us when we follow after the ways of the heathen, the so-called white man, who you call today white Jesus, Caesar Borgia. When we follow after him, that is what destroyed us from our heritage. Read what you got.
Hosea chapter 4 verse 6. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge.
God said the reason why my people shoot each other down in the street, the reason why these brothers have sex with a sister and leave her with kids, the reason why we got the highest crime rates, the highest STD rates, we are on the same block fighting for the same cell, is because we are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. Read it again.
My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge, because thou hast rejected knowledge.
So God said not only are we destroyed for a lack of knowledge, but when we come and bring the knowledge, a lot of our people reject it. Read on.
Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee.
God said because we rejected his knowledge, give me the knowledge. God said because he rejected the knowledge, he will reject us. How has God rejected us as a people? Every other day you turn on the news, another black man, Hispanic woman, black woman getting shot down by police. That's how God rejected. Another way God rejected, look at your neighborhoods. We live in the worst areas, we inhabit the worst places on the earth. We the only people that would sit out on the corners all day trying to sell some dope, trying to sell some crack, trying to make a living out of these things. That's not an honest living. You ain't finna get nowhere like that. You're going to be in the same revolving circle. So read what you got. This is the knowledge that we rejected as a people, and we must come back to. Nothing will change until we come back to this knowledge that we about to read, God's knowledge.
Malachi 2 and 7. For the priest's lips should keep knowledge.
God says the priest's lips, the same pastors in your church, the same men that you exhort, they supposed to be teaching you knowledge. Well, what knowledge is that? Read what you got.
And they should seek the law.
Seek the what?
The law.
Seek the what?
The law at his mouth.
This is the knowledge that you're supposed to be getting. The laws of God. How to keep the Sabbath day holy. How to deal with a woman properly. How to take care of your children. How to love your brother. That's what you're supposed to be seeking out of the lips of the priest, the mighty man. And that's what the Israelites coming out here to teach our people today. Because for far too long, we've been in this condition. When are we going to get tired of it, black man, Hispanic man? Because it starts with us. When we going to get tired of sitting in the same places, waiting on the same cell, smoking the same weed, drinking the same liquor, going through the same oppression? When are we going to get tired of it as a people? Give me Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 15. We're going to show you who we are and how real these curses are. Read what you got.
Deuteronomy 28 verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe, to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses should come upon thee and overtake thee.
God said, you so-called black, Hispanic, and Native Indians will be a cursed people without doubt if you break God's commandments. How are we a cursed people? Read verse 16.
Verse 16, cursed shalt thou be in the city.
God said we would be cursed in the city. These curses are on us to identify who we are and a punishment like a good father would do to a children that does not abide by their law. So God said, cursed shall we be in the city. How are we cursed in the city? Because you see 20, 30 Negroes on the corner, and then one little white man come up in a police car, and all of them scatter like roaches. That is a curse. We are the only people who have to go to another nation of people for one of all things. That is a curse. God said we're going to be cursed in the city. How? Because our conditions in the city are terrible. We got the, look at the trash all over the ground. We don't take care of nothing as a people. And nobody would even come and pick it up. Look at the things that's going on in our community. The hatred we have for one another. A lot of you brothers over there right now making sales, but one of y'all plotting in y'all mind, I'm going to rob this Negro later. That is a curse. Who does that happen to? You so-called black, Hispanic, and Native Indians. Let's go to verse 48. Read what you got.
Verse 48, therefore shalt thou serve thy enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee.
So God said, because we broke his commandments, we are going to serve our enemies. Our enemies are all the other nations. They're all the other nations that come against the children of Israel, which is every nation. So God said he's going to serve your enemies. Read on.
Which the Lord shall send against thee.
Who sent your enemies against you?
The Lord shall send against thee.
God sent our enemies against us. Why? Because this is a punishment. He put them up as his sword. Because God said, since black man and Hispanic man, you don't want to follow my laws, I'm going to make you follow the laws of the white man. I'm going to make you follow the laws of the Chinese man. I'm going to make you follow the laws of every other nation people. You're not even going to know your own laws anymore. Read on.
In hunger, and in thirst, and in nakedness, and in want of all things.
God said literally in want of all things we're going to have to go to another nation of people to get. That is living like a peasant. That is living like a servant. But God did not put us on this earth to live like that. Let's get Deuteronomy chapter 7 verse 6. I'm going to show you how we're supposed to be living as a people. But yet we on the bottom of society. And a lot of you so-called black men and Hispanic men are not tired of living like that. You okay. You have become complacent with it. It's become the norm. But that's not how God wanted it to be. Read what you got.
Deuteronomy chapter 7 verse 6. For thou art an holy people.
God said we are a holy people. Give me that in Leviticus. God says we are a holy people. What does holy mean? We're going to show you out of the Bible.
Leviticus chapter 20 verse 26. Leviticus 20 and 26. And ye shall be holy unto me, for I, the Lord, am holy. And,
slow down, read it again.
And ye shall be holy unto me, for I, the Lord, am holy, and have severed you from other people.
God said he has severed us. He has separated us from all the other nations of people for a reason, because we're his chosen. We're his special. We're his anointed. Give me Deuteronomy 32 and 8. God has separated us from all the other nations of people. Why? Because our ways are not their ways. The things that the other nations do, we're not supposed to be doing. But you know what happens? We envy our oppressor. Read what you got.
Deuteronomy chapter 32 verse 8. When the Most High divided the nations.
So what did the Most High do from the beginning?
When the Most High divided to the nations their inheritance, when he had separated the sons of Adam, he set the bounds of the people according to the number of the children of Israel.
So the Most High made us a separate people. He always divided us. Why? Proverbs 3 and 31. He always divided us from the other nations. Because naturally we are better. We know we better at basketball. We know we better at football. We know we better at singing and dancing. But we don't know that spiritually we are better people than everybody on this earth. We are the greatest people that have ever walked the face of this earth. Read what you got.
Proverbs chapter 3 verse 31. Envy thou not the oppressor, and choose none of his ways.
This is what we do as a people. We envy our oppressor. How do we envy our oppressor? Because the white man taught us in slavery to celebrate Christmas. Guess what we do today? Celebrate Christmas. The white man taught us in slavery to celebrate Thanksgiving. Guess what we do today? Willfully and joyfully celebrate the slaughter of our brothers and sisters. Read on. Let's get the book of Proverbs chapter 14 verse 12. This is what we out here to do. Give our people warning to come out of the ways of America. Come out of the ways of the so-called white man, the so-called Chinese man, all the other nations. We need to remove ourselves, come back to our Bible. It only belongs to the children of Israel. Read what you got.
Proverbs chapter 14 verse 12. There is a way which seemeth right unto a man.
God said there is a way that seemeth right to a man. Because some of y'all, the way that seems right to you is selling drugs on the corner to your brothers and sisters.
Right.
But God said that way seemed right to you, but what happens?
But the end thereof are the ways of death.
But the end thereof is what?
The ways of death.
God said that's going to eventually lead to your death. That's going to eventually lead to your incarceration. Right. That's going to lead to the death of your own people. Right. When you're selling this stuff to them, you're killing your own people. Right. This shows how much hatred we have as a people. But what must we do? Let's go to Matthew chapter 18 and verse 1. This is what we must do. The difference, this is what happened. The Christian church has taught us that we equal with God, that we can do our own thing, that we can bring God down to our level. But that ain't how the Most High God works. But what are we out here to do? Teach our people how to keep the laws and statutes of the Most High God, that we must do it, and this is what's going to improve our condition. Because we tried everything. We tried voting. We tried marching. We tried going into the political system. We tried doing it our way. We tried Islam. We tried science. None of it works. Only thing that's going to work for our people is keeping the Most High God's laws.
Shalom. This is Bishop Nathaniel of Israel United in Christ. Please subscribe to our YouTube channels. Stay up to date with our latest events, music, and classroom lessons. IUIC plans to continue visiting different countries where this gospel has not been preached before. IUIC needs your help in pushing this truth. So join us. Subscribe to our Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and podcasts, and stay up to date with us. For more information, please visit www.israelunite.org.